Explain to me what Paul George is doing. Um, he threw Doc under the bus and then backed up and then ran him over again here. I doubt if Paul George would be saying this if Doc was still the head coach, but it feels like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are trying to clean up their resumes a little bit here.
Paul George is looking for somebody to blame. I mean, that's pretty clear. Paul George is making excuses, and excuses don't necessarily have to be based in reality. Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, when Paul George is complaining, you're using me like Ray Allen, you're using me like JJ Redick. The facts don't support that. Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer tweeted, Paul George last year had the highest percentage of pick and roll usage in his career by far. So again, he's making excuses. That's just the simplest way to put it, for what was an extremely disappointing season and, frankly, an embarrassing postseason for him.
Is he like he wanted to go to Los Angeles, but is he equipped to be in Los Angeles?
There's a little bit, even with the Clippers, there's a little bit different pressure when you are playing in LA than when you're the man in Indiana or when you're in Oklahoma City.
Oh, I know.
And,
Imagine if he was with the Lakers.
Exactly. But Paul George has said, honestly, a lot of very strange things over the last few months. I thought him taking shots at Dame Lillard, the guy who, swished a 37-footer in his face and waved bye-bye and basically said, your time in Oklahoma City is over. To take shots at him was pick your sparring partners a little bit better, I would advise. And then after they're eliminated, this was never a championship buster season for us. Well, boy, it sure seems like the owner felt differently because it ended Doc Rivers' tenure there. But again, that's just a case of you join forces with Kawhi, you're going to the Clippers, you're being talked about as a championship favorite, and then after the fact, you're trying to revise history and say, hey, this isn't a big deal. This isn't a disappointment. Well, yeah, it was. And Paul George probably enters this season with maybe as much to prove as any established star in the NBA.